In this video, we are going to see how we can create something like that. You see, wow, that's so impressive, honestly. So we're gonna see how we can do that in Houdini using CrowdX in simple yet clever way. And we're gonna demonstrate the basic of this scene. So we're gonna talk about dynamic in CrowdX. Hi everyone, this is Daisy and welcome back. So let's do it. You see, we have this surface and we have this crowd. We talk about how we can create crowd in previous video, and we have this joint limit for ragdoll. So we have ragdoll already set up, and we can create another CrowdX for simulation. And now we can rebuild our network, and of course we have our simulation now. You see, and we have avoidance. We can put that to 0. Yeah, the agent is running straight instead of avoiding each other. And we have this box. Let's say this box is the boss. And how we can turn this box to the dynamic object in CrowdX? It's so simple. Create a one action and make it dynamic. Oops, just like that, you see. And if it does not work, just remember, create another action to fix this issue. And as you can see, we have our dynamic. You see, nothing working. So we need to make this animation as an animated stick, and we can rebuild our network. And let's play. Now all the agent will collide with this dynamic object, so we have interaction between these two, right? What if I want to add velocity, custom velocity towards this action? Very simple, just add a point velocity and boom, you have that. But how we can turn this crowd to the ragdoll using this one? We can create another action and transition and select our dynamic one because it's is entity 1, and let's change that to the impact. So we have our transition now, right? You see, boom, it's going to the ragdoll state. So we have some interaction and ragdoll stuff going on here. You see, that's simple. It's very good and convenient way to have something like that, and this is very cool. And this is the scene, we can use it in our production. You see, this is the basic version of that scene, and of course you can render that and put another smoke effect on it. So now what if I want to have fracture object using this RBD material fracture to have our pieces? And as you can see, I'm adjusting the pieces look here, and of course we have our velocity too, right? So the same workflow. What if I play that? What's gonna happen? You see, we have something, but this is not considered as a fracture object. So we need to check this fracture object. It will use fracture object inside the DOP network instead of RBD object. You see, we have our effect here. And why the transition not happening? You see why the crowd is not going to the ragdoll? Because we need to change the second entity or second state to these pieces name. You see, this is the pieces, individual pieces. Let me show you in here. You see, this is the exact pieces on RBD material fracture. So we're gonna use some asterisk with it, and boom, it means all pieces. And let's have a flip book, and voila, we have amazing effect. You see, very easy and very convenient. So I love working like that. It boosts our productivity. This is my belief, honestly. That's why I'm creating this digital asset. So now we have this object. I want to throw this object towards the to the crowd, sorry, and I want to have sticky effect. I want to have stickiness, you can say. So let's set it, and nothing, because we need to we need a name attribute. We don't have any name attribute because fracture object, it's based on the name attribute. I will use connectivity, and I will use primitive, and I will change that to name, and instead of integer I want string, and for example arrow, why not? So we have that, and because we have fracture object active, boom, now we have our effect. And in here we can enable sticky, and we can put that to 1, and you see everything now stick to the object very easily without extra setup. And now we can change that to arrow. You see the piece's name, it's updating now, and we can do that, and this is the same concept, and boom, you see we have our ragdoll and we have our stickiness. And this is very cool and simple workflow. I don't know if you remember sticky setup or not from the CrowdX, because this is so challenging setup to have a sticky object in DOP network. That's why we simplify this process for you. So this is our sticky, but we have the last feature for dynamic here. You see the crowd is hitting another crowd, but the crowd is not going to the ragdoll. You see, I want to make this ragdoll to go to the ragdoll using this ragdoll on agent collide. So if agent collide with each other, the ragdoll will happening. You see, we have something, and as you can see, this is a cool feature to have. So with that, this is available, if you're interested, available on the website. If you purchase it, it's for the lifetime for you without any licensing stuff. And if you want to test that, subscribe to Champion tier because it's free for our champion members. So see you in the next one. See ya.